Welcome to Inspire and Move, the show that inspires you to create, connect, and grow. I'm going to bring you meaningful conversations, aha moments, and all the motivation you need to up-level every part of your life. I'm Ali Aruda, founder of Inspire and Move, and your personal hype girl. I've gone from fashion school to celebrity stylist to corporate marketing to brick and mortar entrepreneurship with my husband, each time learning incredible lessons how to pivot, reimagine, and implement the steps to become successful. I am passionate about inspiring others to live their best life, a life of joy. We have the power to design a life that we love because life is too short not to. The best part is that you weren't meant to do this alone. If you feel like you were meant for more, let me ride shotgun with you, and together, let's get you to where you want to go. Hello, you guys. Welcome back to the Inspire and Move podcast. I'm your host, Ali Aruda, and I am so excited to be here. I am so grateful to have you here. I know I've said this in a few of my other episodes, but we are getting ready to celebrate our first birthday, our first year in business of the Inspire and Move podcast. How exciting. Have to think of some fun little ways that we can celebrate all together between, listening, subscribers on YouTube, YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, Instagram stories, all the places that we like to be and just be omnipresent with our messaging, with our brand, and connecting with our community. And speaking of community, we are in the thick of Inspire and Move event season. We are gearing up for our next Girlfriends Walk that is local in Ontario. It is Wednesday, September 4th. If you live in Ontario, you should connect with us. If you want to travel and join us, that's great too. But it is going to be here in Oakville, Ontario. I know a lot of you probably saw that we just had one recently a couple weeks ago in Scottsdale, Arizona. I love, love, love that these walks are now international, and they are just such a fun way to connect with girlfriends, meet new girlfriends, maybe some business besties, and just really feel connected with community. And I have loved hearing how many of you just continuously crave community and connection. And that is one of my biggest purposes when it comes to curating these events. I'm so focused and excited and inspired by community and connection. And I want to curate events and experiences that make you happy, that bring you joy. And I'm also so grateful that I can say that we are sold out not once, but now twice of this year's Women Inspiring Women event happening in September in downtown Burlington, Ontario. We sold out earlier this month, and then I did a limited release of 10 tickets, and then we sold out in a few hours. So thank you all so much for just coming along with me, coming along for the ride for our events. And I get so much joy out of them. And I'm just so grateful for you. And so I wanted to kind of start this episode just with a lot of love and gratitude for all of you. So today's episode is something that I'm going to share with you and the things that I am doing in my expansion season, my level up season, if you will. I have committed myself to some really big goals for myself, personally, us professionally, as let's call it our professional portfolio. If you are new here, Matt and I do a lot of things, and I very much identify with that multi-hyphen life. I'm a multi-passionate entrepreneur, and Matt and I as a married unit, we have our hands in a lot of different things. But what comes with that are big goals. And I have recognized that I can't achieve all of these goals by myself. And so I have made some changes and investments to help myself, to support myself in this season of expansion. And I thought I would bring you guys along for the ride and share with you what I am doing. So I have made a little list here to prepare for today's episode of 8 things that I am doing, whether it's ongoing or these are things that I'm doing now, newly for the first time. But these are 8 things that I am doing as part of this expansion season. And I wanted to share that with you. I love how many of you enjoyed my morning routine episode of just kind of getting to know each other better. I really love that when it comes to listening to some of my favorite podcast hosts on their show and some of my favorite entrepreneurs, just being able to get to know them better. I want to know how they flow through their day. What are their routines? What are their mindset hacks? What do they outsource? I also recently did an episode about your outsourcing era. There's a lot of really amazing nuggets that come from getting to know people's day and how they perform, their routines, how they outsource, all of those things when it comes to, being a high performance individual. So I have prepared this list for you and I'm excited to share it with you. So 8 things that I am doing in my expansion season. Number 1, I have invested in a mindset coach. This is new for me. I have never done this before. And I have, as many of you might know, I'm kind of still in a bit of a grief journey, especially after the loss of my dad coming up to 3 years ago, and have been navigating that, especially early on. Like when I first lost my dad, it was in a pretty ugly time in the world, a really challenging time as an entrepreneur with a fitness business. So I was really trying to find a balance of grief, but also still being highly motivated to achieve my goals and actually even increase motivation as a result of the grief and how the two kind of coexisted and still do, but we are in a bit of a different balance now. Here we are like 3 years later. And so I was sort of looking, do I need to go like the therapy route? Do I want to go with, the medium route? I thought about like mediumship could be a way to help me navigate with what I'm going through, my feelings and my mindset. And then I got to have a really great conversation with a girlfriend of mine. Her name is Emily Freeman. She is a special human. And we actually met at Lori Harder's Girlfriends in Business event. And I'm going to come back to this. I just want to drop this little nugget here that I've made this really amazing connection, this new friend, her and her husband. And we met through a room, getting in a room. And Emily had referred me to just for a discovery call for her mindset coach. And I was like, I'm really interested in that. That sounds great. Let's have this discovery call. I'll kind of spill the beans on my life, what I am looking for help with, what I'm looking for support with from a, mental, emotional standpoint, but also what I really want to achieve when it comes to my businesses and wealth portfolio and all of these things. And also coming to her in a time of higher stress with a really full plate, a really full schedule. We had some great conversations and I felt really good after the call and decided to move forward, hit the green light and invest in bringing on a mindset coach. And I paid in full. So I have skin in the game and I'm a big advocate for that. You'll hear Matt and I talk about that a lot on our podcast that we do together about making investments and how investments can often be the shortcut to getting where you want to go. And so I made this investment in full for the mindset coach. We have our plan and we're getting things ramping up and going with our weekly calls, my homework. I'm going to tell it to you all here. I definitely could have some area of improvement as a student of this work. It is new for me. It's a little bit uncomfortable, but I know the greater purpose of this is supposed to be just like this quantum leap. And this is what I'm looking for and I'm excited about. So I'm finding myself now, like a few weeks in, I get excited about doing my homework. I get excited about sharing my homework and what those results will mean as a byproduct of doing this homework and looking forward to those results. So hiring a mindset coach was sort of step number 1 that I want to share with you because that is big. That is my, biggest investment here with everything I'm going to share with you. And I was really excited about moving the needle on my expansion by making this investment for the very first time and seeing what can come from it. So hiring a mindset coach, new for Ali Aruda, gold star. We're excited about it. Number 2, some of these are kind of a trickle down effect as a result of the mindset coach, but I have recently started doing morning meditations. Now, I also have mornings where I am up at 5 and I am at the gym less than an hour later, ready to train my first one-on-one personal training client at 6 a.m. So just managing expectations here as you listen to this. I am not sitting peacefully in my robe and a cozy weighted blanket doing a morning meditation with Palo Santo at 7 a.m. in the morning because I'm already on to client number 2 for my day. But I am trying to welcome something new into my routine, but also stack it with what I'm currently doing in the morning. Now, there's sort of 2 versions of these morning meditations, at least for my life right now. So Version number 1 is an extended morning that I'm not rushing off to the gym right away and I can go for a walk. I did this recently on the weekend, both Saturday and Sunday, and I went for a nice walk with either one or two of our dogs, and I listened to my meditation in my AirPods, and it was beautiful. The sun was shining. I'm walking down by the water. It felt very peaceful, very serene. I felt abundant. I felt happy. I felt super grateful. And just being able to really sit with the words that were coming through this morning meditation. Version 2 is at 5:20 a.m. in the morning, and I am playing it on my counter while I'm doing my skincare routine and my makeup before leaving the house to head to the gym. It's the same product, it's the same morning meditation. The experiences of how I am soaking in the meditation is different, at least for where I am right now. And I think, there's a lot to be said that if you want to make some changes in your life or you want to make some changes to your routines, you have to even start with baby steps. And I know that I'm not in a position right now to have this extended morning walk and time by the water and the sunshine and the birds chirping every day. So I pivot and I adjusted at how I can add this element into my routine, but based off of my life right now. And if you can think of a way that you could do that too, maybe it is morning meditation. Start with 5 minutes and do it when you brush your teeth or make the bed. That it's not the most picture perfect, serene environment, but you're still getting it done. And you're going to put that practice in, day over day over day and do those baby steps. 5 minutes might then turn into 10 minutes. Mine currently is about 10 minutes. And if I can do that when walking, amazing. But if I can also do it in the comfort of my own home while carrying on with the morning routine, great. And then who knows what it'll look like in 6 months from now. Something to look forward to. But I'm really enjoying these morning meditations. It is one that came recommended to me, and it's from Abraham Hicks. There's a lot on there. I'm so happy to even share some of this in the show notes or connect with you guys in the DMs if that's something that would feel valuable to you. But morning meditations is addition to my life and my up level right now. Number 3 is money mindset meditations. So this is kind of a nice foray from number 2 to number 3, money mindset meditations. Also kind of on the heels of that Abraham Hicks, there's a lot of content there. And you can just find these on YouTube, and that's what I've been using. And this is really about feeling you're in a state of abundance. And also I feel like deep gratitude for that abundance. I think the better we can be at feeling really grateful for things. And this could also be like how grateful you are. I said this to Matt this morning. I'm so grateful that we get to have clean sheets week over week, that we can go wash them in our home and then have clean sheets like 2 hours later. So if you can feel gratitude for your money and your abundance, and maybe that is even a reframe of getting a bill in the mail that, we have a swimming pool. So that equates to higher bills. But if we can receive that bill as a result of having a swimming pool with a, larger expense, we can feel grateful for the fact that we do have a swimming pool and we get to host our family or friends and have really great memories as a byproduct of having a swimming pool that costs us more money, and we have the money to pay off the bills. It's how you can just recycle these thoughts and reframe them with gratitude that can then also lead to more abundance. And I'm really having a lot of fun with these meditations that speak to it. And I'm not quite at like the affirmation standpoint yet where I will listen and say things out loud, especially on a walk, but at least, fueling my mind with positivity and positive words and positive thoughts surrounding that money mindset and abundance. And I'm really loving this addition as well. So this is something that I will also add on walks, but I could also stack onto like a larger, time gap in the morning when getting ready or driving. Or if I have a gap between clients, perhaps I could just pop my AirPods in and do something as well. Maybe go through and clean the gym floor while listening to a positive meditation. So these are just things that I'm adding into my routine. And if you have 10 minutes and you have YouTube and you have AirPods or headphones, you can do the same thing. So something for you to think about of how you can add this, perhaps if it feels good, into your routine as well. Number 4, journaling and scripting. So journaling I have done on and off for many, many years. I go through phases where I journal a lot, then I'll look in my journal and realize it's been 3 months. I did this a lot at the very early stages of my grief journey and my healing journey after my dad. That there were some darker entries. I'm looking for more robust, positive, abundant entries now, and that's really the energy that I'm trying to sit in with a lot of this work. And I actually was listening to a great podcast today from Catherine Zankina, aka Manifestation Babe. And she said something really powerful about energy and the energy that you sit in. And I heard this also on, I think it was a Chris Harder podcast earlier this morning. Listened to quite a few podcasts today, and always, I love them. But what is the energy that you are selling from? And I really love that perspective. And I feel like that's actually a conversation and a podcast for another time. But I just kind of wanted to sidebar here about energy and the energy that you sit in. That you think of life and a day that you get up and you have this full day ahead. There are for sure going to be things that happen in your day, in our days, that are frustrating and annoying. It could be that you get only red lights on your way to work. It could be that someone cut you off and you weren't expecting it. It could be a long line at Starbucks or your coffee shop. The list can go on. But those are little things that happen in our day, and depending on your mood and your energy, it can annoy you. But we have the power to control our thoughts, and thoughts become things, and we can control our energy. And what are we doing to maintain good energy? This is something I really want to think about. And I'm really trying to think about this also as well in this expansion season for myself, of operating from good energy. And I feel like that is also a topic that I have a lot of fun conversing about. And it's something that I think I'm also well known for, is my energy and what I do to generate good energy. And I am loving the way that these meditations are impacting my energy, the mindset in which I want to sit in, and the state of mind. And journaling is one of those things that I'm trying to get back into as part of this work, as part of this process, and for it to be very positive, for it to be very abundant. And scripting is brand new to me, thanks to my coach. And it is something that really speaks to the present, not the I wish for or I want, but you're speaking more from like present, what you are, that I am a successful entrepreneur, or I'm a Nobel Prize winner, I am a New York Times bestselling author. Whatever your goals and dreams and desires are, they've already happened. And now you are sitting in that state, you're celebrating it. What did you do to celebrate becoming a New York Times bestselling author? Did you go to Italy for 7 days? Did you take your family on a all expenses paid safari to celebrate that? These are things that you want to include in the scripting, and do this daily. So again, working on being a great student with my mindset coach. And for this work, I'm coming to you guys with real time in my expansion season, wanting to bring you along for the ride and tell you what I'm doing. But I'm also being very honest and transparent that some of these elements are new to me and there's a lot of room for improvement. But I like to be honest and authentic with you guys. All right. Number 5, outdoor walks. I love that we are in summer here in Ontario, which means that it's really pleasant to walk compared to, the month of February. And I really try to plan out my day and week to allow myself the time to walk to our gym, Benchmark Fitness. It's a little over a kilometer, like 15 minutes, which I love that. And that means I can either dive into an audiobook, I can get a quick podcast, or I can play one of my meditations. And I love being able to get more steps in. Like, I'm really trying to welcome back that 10,000 steps a day minimum goal. And that feels really good. It feels like also a great addition to my workout routine for my physical goals. But it's also just that time outside and hearing the birds chirping, maybe, saying hi to someone walking by, whether you know them or not, and just having that person-to-person connection. And also long walks with my dogs. If you're new here, we have 3 dogs. Our oldest, Molly, she's 16 and a half. She's blind. So her walks are actually more of like a carry situation. I carry her for walks. but I'll either do long walks with our Aussie or our Golden Retriever or both of them. Sometimes I actually really enjoy solo walks with one of my dogs. I can really focus on training, leash training and leash etiquette, but also it allows me to be more present with my own thoughts and what I want to consume, like a meditation, an audiobook, or a podcast. Just a little less activity with two dogs. So that's something I've really tried to welcome as well. I feel like it fuels me from an emotional standpoint of having that connection time with my dogs, especially that one-on-one relationship for the walk, but also time for myself, my thoughts, my gratitudes, my feelings of abundance, my mindset, and the state in which I want to operate from. Next one is number 6, lighter social calendar. And Matt and I have both really welcomed that for sure over this last year. And this is summer. Like, summer is a busier time from a social standpoint. We have our best friends here from Australia. So we've had a very full social calendar, especially when they first got here and the beginning of summer, people's birthdays and events. But now that we're kind of in the flow of summer, it's August at the time that I'm recording this, that we're really welcoming a lighter, quieter social calendar. And not to say that we just want to stay home and not socialize with anyone. We're just trying to be more mindful of what is on our calendar week over week over week. And we also have amazing things on our calendar with our own events that we host and run, but also that we travel to. And I'm going to circle back to that in 2 points from now. But having that lighter social calendar has really created space for us to maintain an energy level of, not having multiple late nights or too many drinks and like bigger meals. So it's a beautiful balance or harmony, if you will, of our physical goals, what we want to do and we work so hard at trying to achieve in the gym and how we want to look and feel, but also from a mental state and just having space to have expansive conversations with one another. And I'm speaking about Matt and I. Having expansive conversations, having good night's sleeps, healthy eats, early mornings, mindful mornings, and being able to do our morning gratitude and manifestation practice, having coffee in a mug. Those things actually also bring us a lot of joy. And those are things that we're trying to have on our calendar week over week. Also knowing that some of our days start really early and some of our days start at a more moderate early. But this has just felt really good for us to have a lighter social calendar. We are still working on that no muscle. That is really hard for us, especially when it comes to, social activities or family functions. That is a whole muscle that, man, I respect people so much that can really lean into that and work on their boundaries and all of those things. We are both still actively working on that because we definitely have people pleaser energy and mentalities. But it's something that we are trying to really embrace, at least when it comes to looking at our calendar at an overhead bird's eye view for the week of what our days, evenings, and weeks and weekends look like. And this has felt really good for us. We're going to continue on this trend kind of going into early fall, winter, all of those things, and build on it. But right now, having that lighter social calendar has been a really beautiful addition to this expansion season. All right, number 7, kind of rolling off of that, is a schedule change. This is something that I have been working really hard at curating over these last few months, and it has been difficult. Again, I'm a bit of a people pleaser. I want everybody to feel happy and have what they need when it comes from, what I offer them. And this has actually been specific to my schedule, Monday through Friday, with relation to being a full-time personal trainer, effectively being the head trainer at Benchmark Fitness and operating from, I've had the fullest training schedule. This past few months, last 6 months, I've trained the most I ever have since Matt and I have owned our gym. We bought it 5 years ago. And when I was in the flow of 30 hours a week of training, I felt so much joy for it. I really got into it. I was like, God, this is so great. I love supporting these women. I actually trained all women, ironically. I loved supporting them on their fitness journey and their goals and these wins and getting really invested in the process and the journey. but ultimately then realized I was not creating enough space for some of my work, some of my projects that came under the Inspire and Move umbrella, the podcast, my events, really amazing collaboration opportunities and partnerships. I started to really recognize that I needed to create some space. And with growth, you need space. I have these big goals, the things I want to do and achieve, but I wasn't doing myself any favors by not allowing the space for this magic to unfold. So I tried to make this commitment to myself a couple months ago, and we're just kind of getting there. We're just kind of getting this. And this is even a beautiful example of process and just creating that space and understanding for change and process that it can't always happen overnight, that this has been something I've been actively working on for weeks and trying to go from 5 days a week of training to 3 days a week, and then having 2 days a week for Inspire and Move. And today is actually, as I'm recording this is the first Monday where I've not trained any clients for the first time in months, and felt kind of weird, but also felt kind of nice. I had a flow of the day of, what the morning looked like at Benchmark in terms of some gym tours, but then a scheduled workout with one of our awesome trainers that we book week over week, and we book and pay for. And then Matt and I, we trained together. We got a coffee. We came home. I took one of our dogs for a nice long walk, listened to my meditations, listened to some podcasts, came home, had a shower, put on makeup to be ready for my podcasting. Like, I'm wanting to create these new habits for myself on days like today, and generating this energy as a professional for Inspire and Move. And it's exciting. I'm excited about this. I'm also really freaking proud of myself that I've actually finally did it, because that did mean, handing off some of my clients to other trusted trainers in our gym. And I'm so lucky and so grateful that we have such an amazing team. And I know that everybody will be so well taken care of and supported, and that I can also still support them and cheer them on and be a part of their journey. But I really recognized that I needed to make this schedule change. And I am in the midst of it and feeling proud that I'm at least here. We got one day. This is day one. And I can't wait to see the magic that unfolds from creating this space and generating a different energy for Inspire and Move by having this space 2 days a week. So if this resonates for you and you're kind of in the same process, welcome. It is a different type of a challenge, but will be so rewarding when you get this beautiful harmony of your schedule on the other side. And so I was really excited to share that one with you guys, because again, I want to be really authentic and bring you along for the ride. And this has been something that I've been working on for weeks and months, and it's a big part of this expansion season. And lastly, number 8, expansive rooms. You hear me, you hear both Matt and I talk about this, that getting in the room is integral to your growth. And I resonate with that so hard. And we are so proud to preach that, and so passionately preached. Let's maybe reframe it that way. Passionately preached. But it's something that has been a game changer for us. And even now, we're getting ready to roll into hosting our second mastermind, our second one-day mastermind on October 3rd in Wine Country here in Ontario. We had such a blast doing it the first time in June. And it was something we walked away from feeling so proud, so excited, so stretched. And we just had so much joy. And I think because it came, the why behind hosting it was because it was so transformative for us last year in our business. We did it not once, but twice. We invested in the same room 2 different times in the same calendar year with the same host, Chris Harder. He runs an extremely impactful mastermind experience. And because it was so transformative for us last year and our business and us even just personally, let alone professionally, we knew we had to do it. And we had so much fun doing it in June that we were going to do it again this year. And so because we feel so passionately about this, we know that this has to be on our calendar year over year. What are we investing in? And we have a lot of joy when it comes from, sort of January of the new year, looking at our year. What are our intentions for the year? What are our words of the year? And where are we investing our time and money this calendar year to expand ourselves and stretch ourselves and be around people that do just that, that expand us and help us grow and that we can network with. So this has not only been big for us, but I want to share this with you if this is also something that, you also feel that you're on an expansion season or you're looking for that level up, is having dates in the calendar as well as the investments made. Free events are wonderful, and I would be a part of as many free events as you can. But the second you start investing your hard-earned dollars in rooms, you are going to show up differently. And then when you show up to those rooms, like, yes, you're going to show up differently because you've made an investment, but then you really have to commit yourself to how are you going to show up? You got to show up and play it full out. Show up like a bright ray of sunshine, a bright light that it's exuding energy and positivity that will naturally attract people to you because of the way that you're showing up in those rooms. So by committing yourself to the dates, what these events are and where are they, and what is the investment that you're making to be in those rooms, that is a big part of this, as well as having those dates in your calendar and looking forward to them. And then are there going to be people in those rooms that you look forward to seeing? I am very much in that season. I just got back from my friend Lindsay Schwartz's event, Powerhouse Women, that was in Scottsdale, Arizona earlier in August. And I was so excited to be in that room. And I was so excited to see my friends and meet new friends, people that were online friends, but then we got to meet in person. And I came home and I said that to Matt, that I think that was one of the things I loved most about this event, was being in a room with these people and these conversations and having these friends, and being in expansive rooms with expansive people is going to be such an integral part of your expansion season. So expansive people, expansive rooms, expansion season. It's a beautiful flow. And this is something that, we already have an event coming up in November that we're really looking forward to, that's going to expand ourselves. Matt and I attend this together. It's Chris and Lori Harder's dinner series. This will be our third one that we're attending this year. We bought the bundle. We bought all three of them. You can now purchase, singles or doubles, but we invested in all three times two because we're going as a couple. So you can see how, I'm not going to just tell you something to do and not do it myself. It's just coming from a heart-centered place, very authentic, that this is what we do. And I'm already excited to kind of see what does 2025 look like for us in terms of what rooms are we going to invest in. Also knowing that, I've committed myself in a different way this year of wanting to stretch myself and grow, kind of, going back to that mindset coach. That was an investment I've never made before. And it's always US dollars, which is just brutal as a Canadian. But if you can't stay the same and do the same things. I think I'm butchering that actually. You can't grow and be a different version of yourself, but by doing the same things. Maybe that's a clearer way of explaining it. If you want to be a different person and grow and expand, you have to do different things. And you have to do those things differently and playful out. So for myself, I'm telling you, I have this mindset coach with homework. I need to commit myself to doing the homework. And I feel like this is even just a lesson for me of kind of looking at my Post-it notes here in front of me and reiterating to myself, Allie, you got to do all this work, girlfriend. You have this coach, you get the homework, you have to do the work, and you have to do the work over and over again. These things, a lot of these things that I'm sharing with you, like the homework from my mindset coach, morning meditations, money mindset meditations, journaling, scripting, those are all things that are not one and dones. Those are things we should actively be doing so that we're stretching that muscle, that mental muscle every single day, and that we're expanding ourselves every single day. And I'm kind of really obsessed with this expansion season right now. I feel a different energy as I'm even telling and sharing all of this with you guys. But as I have created space for this work for myself of how I want to up level. And I get really excited about being the best possible version of myself. And that does take work every single day, every single week, every single month, and every trip around the sun that we have. So if any of these resonated, we'll just recap here that if any of these resonated, I would love to hear from you and let me know which one resonated the most. And if you're going to maybe try some of these for the very first time. But to recap, all 8 things that I am doing as part of my expansion season. Number 1, hired a mindset coach with homework. Number 2, morning meditations. Number 3, money mindset meditations. Number 4, journaling and scripting. Number 5, outdoor walks. Number 6, a lighter social calendar. Number 7, a schedule change. And number 8, expansive rooms. You guys, thank you so much for listening to the Inspire and Move podcast. I've loved sharing all of this with you. And this has been sort of on my heart these last few days. And so I was excited to share today's episode with you, and how special that I am sharing this episode with you, or recording this episode for you on my first Monday of my schedule change. Talk about that energy. How cool is that? So I am sending you with so much amazing energy, sending you so much love, so much gratitude for being a part of this journey with me, being a part of my community. If you have a few moments and you would be ever so kind to drop a little 5-star review, a little rating, that would be amazing. Maybe share this episode on social or with a friend if it resonated. And until next time, we will see you again soon, and I'm sending you so much love. Thank you so much for listening. If you loved this episode, it would mean the world to me if you took 30 seconds and shared this on social media, send it to a friend, or leave a 5-star review. There is power in community, and I am so grateful to have you part of mine.